Hi, I'm Malcolm McGrath, cabinet maker, and I'm going to talk a little bit about picking a color for your kitchen. As a custom cabinet shop, one of the first things I want to point out is that I can do virtually any color. I know some of the cookie cutter companies have 5 or 6. I have literally thousands. This is a fan deck that my color supplier, lacquer supplier uses. There's probably 1,000 colors in that. They can mix any of these. As well as that, they've got that. This is for solid colors. As well as that, this is a stain sample kit I can show you. This is cherry, oak, and maple. I don't know how many. There are 50 or 60 in each column. This is every color that Minwax does, and they can do it in furniture lacquer. So there's a couple hundred more colors, and we can mix custom colors as well. As well as either stain colors or solid colors, we can do combinations of colors. This is a door which is a dark stain underneath, and then we've sanded through the edges and covered it with a solid color like an off-white, and then sanded through the edges to give this kind of antiquing look. That's one option for a mixed color. And this is a door that's got a glaze. So we've got an off-white with a darker glaze around it. So here again we're mixing and matching two colors. Now I can do this with any of the colors. And one of the samples that one of my clients, I actually did a door like this, and the darker stain underneath I matched to their hardwood floor, and the lighter color I actually matched to the color of the trim. So there's a great deal of possibility here that we can work with. So then the question emerges, well, how do you pick something? What I tell people usually when they're starting a kitchen project, go to the web. There's a good website called house.com. They, I think, have got literally probably 1 million pictures up there. Browse through that, but they're all organized into categories. So you can browse through, find one that says kitchens, and go through. And usually in this situation, first impressions are kind of correct. I mean, you find something you like, you look at a picture and say, wow, I like that, that works for me. And you'll find 2 or 3 and eventually narrow it down to 1. And that's generally what I like to work with when I'm doing a kitchen project. So that'll give us the basic concept of the kind of thing we're looking for. Are we looking for traditional? Are we looking for a solid color? Are we looking for a stain color, or just natural wood with modern, something like this? So once you have the basic concept, then you've got to go to the details of picking a color. And this part of the process, I think it's very important to be careful, because before you pick a color, one thing you've got to remember is when you have a kitchen, you know, you're going to live with this for a long time. In a kitchen, basically, if you're cutting vegetables, you're going to look at the door from this close. It's going to be a foot away from you for the next 15 years. So you really want to be careful about getting color that you can live with. Don't go with something too shocking. You know, don't go with something too crazy or wild. Go with a color that you can say, hey, I'm going to be staring at it like this for the next 15 years, and I don't mind that. And so the other thing in picking a color is, one, realize that you're going to have it for a long time, but pick your colors in terms of like the whole color scheme for your kitchen. Some colors are harder to change than others. The color on your walls, you can repaint that yourself on a weekend, and that's very cheap. It's a $50 gallon of paint, and it's a weekend's work. The color of your hardwood floors, you're really stuck with. I mean, if you got hardwood throughout the whole first floor of your house, ripping it up and changing it is going to cost you $10,000. It's a huge project. You're never really going to do that. So make sure you pick a color that you can live with on your floors. The color of your cabinet doors is something you can change, but it's not cheap. You basically have to either get new doors or respray them, and even that's a few $1,000s. So bear that in mind. Some things are easier to change than others, and so you really want to be comfortable with the things that are hardest to change, and the things that are easy to change, like the color on the walls. You can pick that last, and you know, you can change it again in a year and say, look, I don't like this yellow, I want this beige. So that's not difficult. So another thing is, once you've sort of got a color that you've taken from, say, a computer printout or a picture, don't use this to pick the actual color. There's a good reason for that, because the colors come off a computer or on a picture. I mean, basically, you know, the color of this white, if you tried to match it to a fan deck and you're taking this off a computer, all you have to do is change the contrast on your computer or change the backlighting on your computer a little bit, and it'll show up as a totally different color on the fan deck. So the only way to look at a color is to see a physical sample of the color you're going to use. And not even from a chip or a fan deck, because the problem is these are a matte, but I usually use a satin in the finished product. So it's very important that you actually see a physical sample of what you're going to use of the sprayed lacquer, and also if you're going to compare that to a marble or a granite that you're going to want on, say, a countertop, make sure you have a physical sample and you can hold one up against the other, because here again the light is going to refract very differently from granite, in which the actual light enters and kind of shifts around and then shoots back out, from something like this or a computer screen where the optical physics of it are entirely different. So it's very important you have real physical samples to work with, and that's why when I am trying to get work on someone to come up with a color, what I like to do is I will actually spray up samples. And you say to me, okay, we want white, we want an off-white, I'm going to take a door, usually I'll get a door that's the type you want, and we'll spray up samples. And you can take them home, and it's also important you take them home and you work with them. And you sit with them in your home and you look at them for a while. Don't make a snap decision. You don't have to come to a showroom and say, I want that, and then live with it. No, take the sample home. And the other thing I say is, don't just use the sample of the door. You want a sample of your flooring. You're going to want a sample of your tile, a sample of your backsplash, and you're going to want to compare, and a sample of the granite, countertop, whatever, and you're going to want to sort of put those up against each other and see how they look. This is something this is just kind of a fun thing that I made up, and some people have trouble working with. This is a little portable display thing. Whoops! And I give one of these to clients, and they can just take it home. Because usually people start planning kitchen renovations months in advance, and you really want to get the color sorted out before you start. So I can say, here, take this home, and let's say you want an off-white door, and you've gone to your hardwood supplier, you're going to get this type of hardwood, so you pop that right on there. I don't actually have a white kick plate, but I'll put that little kick plate in. There's your kick plate. Now, because you want a white, you want a little bit of contrast, you've got this granite, which has some tones which picks up the hardwood. So we're going to use this granite. And you want marble backsplash. So this little stand, I like it. People can take it home and they can play with it over the space of several months and really get an idea of how these various textures are going to go together. And I repeat again, you cannot see these textures on a TV screen, on a picture, even in a showroom. You really want to take it home and sit with it for a while and compare. And you may say, look, I'm happy with this door, but I don't like this marble. So take the marble and change it out. Most granite suppliers and marble suppliers, they'll give you samples, take them home. Change it out, and then we'll go with this backsplash. And some people, often people will say, well, you know what, okay, I like this, this, and this, but now that I see it, I want a different door. So they'll call me up and say, can you change the color? And let's go to a natural wooden door. So, in any case, this is something you want to spend a while doing. I like to give people all these sort of opportunity, and I'll make up samples. They can take it home, think about it, and really sort of give it some thought as to whether or not you're going to be happy with this for the next 15 years. So here you go. Just to get an idea of how this works. Once you lay this out, it really becomes clear what this is all going to look like together. So that's my recommendation. So give me a call. Bye.